My name's Oscar Leeser, and I am the mayor of the great city of El Paso. We've had our challenges over the last 3 years. El Paso is a city of strength, a community of resilience. And I can tell you, it's not only today, but it's 365 days a year. Back many years ago, a 13-year-old young man lost his life in a skiing accident, and his family and friends grouped together to come up with a 5K. We had about 800 people that participated in it. And now it's one of the largest 5Ks in America, non-competitive for youth. Almost 13,000 El Pasoans. And we've raised over $2 million to donate back to schools in his memory. He loves shoes. So they give shoes to all the schools and all the kids. What a great way to keep his memory going. And also, for some reason, somebody decided to drive 11 miles to El Paso and attack us simply for who we are. Killed 23 of our citizens and really attacked our community. And I can tell you that our community came together and rallied and got $11 million to give back to the families, to support the families that lost their loved ones. This is just a few examples that defined El Paso. And you're about to hear a few more from some of our community partners. And I'm very proud today to introduce not only a great friend of mine, but a great partner to our community, Deborah Sulag, that's with the United Way. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you, Mayor. As Mayor Lisa referenced, on August 3rd, the unimaginable happened. An individual drove 11 hours to commit a shooting that took 23 vibrant lives, injured more than 25, and broke the heart of every El Pasoan. Yet through our grief and sorrow, local governments, nonprofits, community foundations, and faith-based institutions came together working as one to meet the needs of so many. To create a central point for community resources, our United Way was asked to establish the El Paso United Family Resiliency Center, the center to provide awareness and access to mental health counseling, non-traditional therapies, basic service needs, legal aid, and much more. Recently, Family Resiliency Center client Stephanie shared her poignant story. I was so overwhelmed and devastated. I was barely hanging on. Jamie, my navigator, started talking and reassuring me. For the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe again. Jamie has helped us in so many different ways. Just her presence and kindness brought peace in the middle of the chaos of the past year, a lifeline I didn't know that I needed. Since 2019, the Family Resiliency Center has served more than 776 families and almost 100 children. Because of the proven success of our collaborative navigation model, our new Resiliency Center has been created to support residents impacted financially by COVID-19. The new Resiliency Center is helping citizens navigate available resources, including critical utility and rental assistance. El Paso United Centers help El Pasoans access critical services and heal from trauma. Together, we're creating what all El Pasoans want, a more resilient community. As part of our COVID-19 response, the YWCA of El Paso has created a respite program to support parents and keep children safe. It is my honor to introduce another community leader, Dr. Sylvia Costa.
Thank you so much, Deb. National crisis often increases stress among couples and families. Shelter-in-place orders meant to protect communities in some instances created unanticipated consequences. Nationally, intimate partner violence and child abuse increased during lockdown by almost 10%. The stay-at-home orders coupled with school closures created the perfect storm for family violence. In response to this crisis, YWCA, the City of El Paso, hospitals and school districts partnered to create a respite care program for families. We worked with school counselors and others to get children in our programs so that they might have a safe place to learn and grow. Women were especially impacted. Many women were put in a situation where they had to help homeschool their children, support aging parents, and also provide care for their community and learn to adapt to the new financial situation in their lives. In many cases, this became overwhelming, and we were there to help. Through the respite care program for families in need, we provided 1,200 children with free respite care over a 6-month period. We provided 500 days of free respite care in our community, which amounted to $500,000 in free childcare. Additionally, YWCA provided shelter for women and children escaping domestic violence. Through the Transitional Living Center, the YWCA was able to provide a COVID-free home with access to counseling services for the entire family. Somehow, during the year when we were forced to be apart, we came together. As the YWCA focused on keeping children safe and families stress-free, the Delta Welcome Center focused on how to stabilize families that had no place to call home.
Good afternoon. My name is John Martin with the Opportunity Center, and this is Justin with Endeavors. And please forgive us for stepping a little further back because we tend to be a little taller than the ladies. But it needs to be known that hand to hand, we worked a little over a year to protect just under 3,000 people who were homeless.
Thanks, John. Together, we activated the shelters to ensure the safety of families and single adults facing homelessness. Less than 3% of those served were impacted by the virus, with 0 cases originating inside our shelter. I will always remember the compassion of our staff, whether it was birthday parties for children, finding homes and employment for veterans, and a man that John has known for many years as we watched him leave Delta with his dog to his own apartment.
Shelter provided stability, allowing us to focus on housing solutions, with over 700 households placed into apartments during that time period. Our work is not yet complete. We continue to work with the city of El Paso and other partners, including Amistad. To share Amistad's story, I'd like to introduce Andrea Ramirez.
Good afternoon. John and Justin, you are our community heroes. Together, with dignity and respect, we have held the hands of hundreds of individuals and led them to a pathway to home, engaging their social determinants of health, mental health, food insecurity, healthcare, and transportation. Through hundreds of hours of intensive case management, we ensure homeless individuals find not only a home, but also have access to resources, utilities. They can be life-saving. Having helped 2,600 families keep their lights on during their darkest moments.
Kathy?
For example, a young mother with a child that has cystic fibrosis that needs breathing treatments powered by an electric nebulizer. We continue to pivot. We adapt. We are resilient. We continue to wrap our wings around this community while being friendly, but being servant leaders. But you cannot have a community without a foundation. This foundation stepped up, maintained families with a roof over their head, avoiding homelessness by preventing rental assistance. Mika?
Hello, I'm Mika Short with the Paso del Norte Community Foundation. The foundation established the EP Rental program in partnership with the City of El Paso to provide relief to over 3,000 families at risk of becoming homeless. The program provided the peace of mind that comes with housing security. El Pasoans in the greatest need benefited from the assistance. El Pasoans such as the grown daughter whose mother passed away and who took her younger brother in after their great loss. The double amputee who spent weeks in the hospital fighting COVID and whose neighbors looked after his dog in an apartment while he was hospitalized. The cleaning lady who could no longer enter her clients' homes due to COVID, who had 3 school-aged children at home who needed access to the internet. El Pasoans taking care of each other, just as we've always done. These incredible community partnerships would not be possible without the city's collaborative leadership. I welcome our city manager, Tommy Gonzalez.
The spirit of El Paso is to demonstrate our strength through our community. We do this by relying on our partners. These efforts were not born out of a crisis, but rather out of a strong commitment to excellence. We call this effort our Communities of Excellence Initiative, adopted in 2018. The COE process is comprised of key community stakeholders representing education, businesses, and governmental entities. Currently, we have over 20 organizations. These organizations are all focused on collaboration, sharing best practices, and leveraging our resources. This support structure strengthened how we would later respond to 3 crises over the last 4 years. The best community connection was exemplified in the wake of the August 3rd tragedy. As a result of the hurtful rhetoric triggered by that event, Plano ISD chose to cancel a much anticipated football game with El Paso's Eastwood High. The effect on the students was devastating. The city of El Paso, in cooperation with the Isleta School District, lobbied to continue the game, engaging the Dallas Cowboys. We wanted them to host the game. We believed it would represent a symbol of unity, strength, and solidarity across Texas. When the Eastwood Troopers played that game, we personified resilience, strength for our community, and strength for the entire state of Texas, which in that moment came together with one voice for our youth and for each other. We also had other successes as a community that wasn't crisis-based. This success was a collaboration including all our community school districts and the students at these schools, which now present the city's budget to the city council and give their input on what they want for the future of our El Paso. We took it a step further and assembled a city council appointed board comprised of these same students who just have presented their strategic plan for our community to the city council. These partnerships and the pride continued. It continued as part of our response to the pandemic. Many forget, but at one point, El Paso made international headlines for the number of COVID infections, leading the world in infections per capita. However, through collaboration with our COE partners, the Rockefeller Foundation and the CDC recognized us as one of the best in the nation for vaccine rollout. We currently lead the nation by 10 percentage points on the number of vaccines administered. We have already met and exceeded the president's goal of 70% of our population with one dose of the vaccine administered. We met his goal a full month early. El Paso is an all-America city because we are El Paso strong.
My name is Nicole Carini, and I am the Chief Resilience Officer for the City of El Paso, and we stand ready to take your questions.